Oh, that went down the wrong hole. Welcome back to Buzzed Honestly. Oh, I'm Josh.
Hey, Josh. I'm Tiffany.
Hey, Tiffany. And today we're going to be reacting to the best of the week. It's the Joe Rogan Experience. If you don't do podcasts, that's okay. But if you do podcasts and you don't know you don't listen to the Joe Rogan Experience,
You're missing out, man.
You're missing out because it's a very, very good.
He's very well rounded. He does he'll talk to anybody about anything. At all.
Even if he disagrees with it, he gives you a platform to get your opinion out. I think it's awesome. And the dude is so smart. He's educated in a lot of things. He may not be well educated in a lot of things. He may be, but he knows at least a little about a lot.
I think though he probably researches the topic before. I mean, he knows who he's booking.
Yeah.
But good for him for doing that.
But it's sort of like drunk reactions, to where you don't know everything that's going to be said to you by whatever you're in the room with, and so you just kind of roll with it.
Yeah, and he does know a lot about it.
Yeah, but if he doesn't know what you're talking about, he'll say, "Man," one of his quotes is, "I wish I knew enough about the subject to call you out on your bullshit." If he doesn't know something, he'll admit that he doesn't know something, which I think is very courageous in people.
Yeah.
But let's check it out.
And you would think it would be, if you're going to hang yourself from such a short distance, it would be even harder to get a fracture like that, right? Because you're not jumping out like in an old Western movie. Like Clint Eastwood movie, when they would hang him high.
There was no context whatsoever.
Well, those are gel clothes. I know personally.
I get it. I thought it was one of those stretch, the elastic workout band things. That's really what I thought it was.
I think that's part of gel clothes.
No,
but
now that you say that, you're probably 100% correct. But I was sitting there what is that even? There was no, they're just jumping right in.
Sorry to pause it so soon, but people who've been in jail, I've been in jail for 12 hours. My entire life, I've been in jail for 10, maybe 10 to 12 hours. And they specifically make the clothes to where you can't rip it, so you can't do this, so you can't hang yourself. I don't know how he managed it.
So the one thing that they also had in here was he left a note.
Oh, Jesus.
The note said
Who wrote
there was
it?
4 things. It said first that it had the name blurred out, but it said this.
What is this? What is this?
He's watching that screen. He's looking at that.
Oh, he was talking about a note, and I thought that was some kind of anatomy.
He has his own computer up, and so somebody's explaining it to him, and he's looking at that computer.
Person left him in a shower, locked for an hour. It then said someone else gave him burnt food, and then bugs were crawling over his hands, and then he just wrote "no fun." But there's a ballpoint pen, the one I have in my hand, sitting right next to it. And they're if you knew he was on suicide watch, you wouldn't give him a ballpoint pen that he could kill himself with.
Jamie, you should be a goddamn detective.
Well, this
for
is what
CSI.
they're saying. And he had his sleep apnea machine was in there. It was you could see an extension cord coming from the hallway into his room. That he could have just used that to kill himself and hang himself.
Or the
way
9
easier.
jumpsuits. Why does he have 9 jumpsuits?
Yeah, the jumpsuit thing is freaky. They're trying to explain it by bringing it.
If they let him have you have to let somebody have their sleep apnea machine, but you have to restrain them when you put it on. Especially if they're on suicide watch.
Yeah, if you're on suicide watch, either you would have to restrain them while they're using their sleep apnea machine, or you would have to have 24-hour watch, which is what he was on whenever he killed himself.
Yeah,
and some new witness.
So somehow this is actually a different video that's showing a couple of different things than what I saw this morning. I didn't see this arm thing, and I didn't see the picture of his back.
The arm thing looks like an injection spot. Is that what it looks like?
I guess so. Here's the actual. This is what I saw.
I saw
Here's
a
the
little
note.
picture.
What does
It's
this
a
say?
little red dot.
Sorry.
So it says
It's not 60 Minutes get their watermark all over it. It's so funny. Sorry, 60 Minutes. Thank you. Thanks for getting this.
So it
What is
says,
it?
kept me in a locked, it's blurred right here. It says the
Right.
name is blurred. Kept me in a locked shower stall for 1 hour. Someone, I don't know the name, sent in burnt food. Giant bugs crawled on my hands, and then no fun. And then they're saying, and then he killed him. But then this ballpoint pen was next to it.
Is that supposed to be a
That
suicide
he could
note?
have stabbed
Yeah.
himself
And
in
his,
the neck or
and his
whatever.
earbuds.
Bad idea.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to kill yourself with a pen.
Yeah.
But
Do they get pens?
that's
Not usually, but this is a,
High profile case.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just.
Yeah,
Boy,
I don't think you should
look,
have a pen.
It might look. It's bad to say either way if you don't
Something
know, and I'm guilty
like
of that
the
100%. I'm like,
jumpsuits
that
they
guy
got.
didn't kill himself. I am talking shit though. I'm not talking in terms of we have to understand. This is really important.
Here's the.
We're doing a podcast. When you're doing a podcast, you don't have to be factually accurate. You just have to talk shit. And hopefully if you fuck up, you correct it, and it's funny. I'm not a science expert, but when these guys are saying that the guy died by strangulation, there's all these points of consistent strangulation, and it takes forever to get these pictures. And then there's the video cameras didn't work. And this is the second time he tried to kill himself. And he's a high-profile witness in a really, really, really important case involving pedophiles at the highest levels of government.
Prince Andrew, apparently.
Shut up.
Wasn't aware, but now we are.
Yeah, I would think that that's the kind of guy you whack.
It's like you just want by the name.
What's up?
You know who wasn't referenced though? The Clintons were never referenced in any of that.
Yeah, that's
in
really
that
weird.
speech.
Yeah, that's really weird that in that speech and in the, I guess we can say, the comments we got on the last video to where we reacted and I didn't know how old Prince Andrew was. God forbid. But it's weird that none of you mentioned anything about the Clintons.
Because nobody wants to die.
Well, yeah, that's true. You know what happens whenever you have dirt on the Clintons? Joe Rogan investigates a YouTube video about your suicide in jail under suicide watch.
Put the sneakers that kids are wearing that have a fucking a green tag on them. It was explained to me.
Are we total boomers now?
There's a green tag.
What is this, a new video?
I think I'm a boomer. I'm not a boomer, right? I'm a Generation X.
But boomer's a
There's
state
little
of
difference.
mind.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm in. This green tag, what is it? Off-white. Is that what it is? Yeah. So they have this green tag on this pair. I was buying a pair of Nikes for my
Okay.
kid. And they're like, oh, those are off-white.
Oh,
I
should I
go,
take
what's
the
up
tag
with
off?
this green thing?
Yeah, what
They're
is-
like, oh, you leave that on. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not leaving this stupid plastic tag on. No, you don't leave that on.
Wait, what is? Can we have
It's
a
this
picture?
thing that people do. That thing. Giant ass
God.
tag. They leave these stupid fucking tags.
Like the
And these are
store tags.
huge. They're cumbersome. They look dumb.
Yes. The
But
store
they
tags.
wear them on their shoe. It's part of
Oh, it's like people having the sticker on their hat for like 9 years.
That's the new thing.
the thing.
my
It's part of the
God.
brand. This person was trying to explain it to me. It's part of the brand.
Look, in 5 years, it's gonna go away.
Why is
in
he
one
here?
year.
It's like
Because it looks
having,
different.
No!
it's like having that tiny dog tag on your shoestring back when the British Knights you're too.
No, I'm a
Was it
boomer.
Arsenio Hall or was it? I think it was Arsenio Hall or who was it that was a spokesman for British Knights shoes? The tall. Anyway.
No, I wore the shoes that had the British flag on them. CKs, case. I don't remember what they're called. It'll come to me.
Calvin Klein? Okay.
No, it wasn't Calvin Klein.
I don't
It'll
know
come
if
to
they
me.
made shoes. But you know how they used to have like the little dog tags on the chains on your shoelaces?
I wore that, but it
That's
wasn't
that.
stupid at the time because I did that.
It looks different. It's,
No.
it's like a flag.
Someone should have a knife, and they should go up to these fucking kids and just cut that off and go, no, we're about to go to war. They're making you soft and stupid. This is probably a plot by the Russians and the Chinese and the Iranians to try to make sure that our kids grow dumber and dumber.
Main thing is there's two things.
What are the shoes that I'm trying to think of? Because it's bothering me at this point. The white shoes that had, like, the shoes were hideous. They were cool, but they were hideous at the time. It was like early 2000s. 2007, 2006 to 2008.
That's
and,
not early 2000s.
And they
at
had
all.
the British...
That's mid to late.
It'll come to me before the end of this video, but they had the British flag on them as a logo. We'll
That are
go.
really, really kind of happening in that region. One, the trafficking of fentanyl and heroin and all these drugs through one of the main drug routes up into the U.S.
Jesus, watch.
And there's a
Mad.
few factions fighting over that region. Los Salazar, which are a small cartel faction that has allegiances to Sinaloa cartel, and the Linea cartel, which has historically been in control of Ciudad Juarez. So they're both kind of vying for control of the area. A few hours before the massacre actually took place, there were a bunch of firefights between these two factions in the area. So one of the main theories is that this group of Mormons basically were a case of mistaken identity by some of these people. You know, it's one theory, right? The other thing that people kind of need to think about is that the largest mineable deposits of lithium on the planet right now are a few hours away from where that massacre took place.
Really?
Yes, and that is, I'm not conspiracy theorizing here, but it's a pretty important thing in that region. And there's a lot of interest in that space and control for that space.
And they're not mining it currently?
there's a bunch of projects in play right now.
So they've identified the deposits.
I haven't heard of this.
I hadn't. We'll have to research this. This is a thing that we don't know about. God forbid.
Apparently, some Mormons were killed in a sketchy area of Mexico.
But they were like within a few miles of a lithium deposit. It's kind of like
It's crazy though because
it's kind of like tribes getting knocked out for like oil pipelines.
that happens in the Middle East currently.
Yeah.
But sorry, I was just thinking.
What
Do you
was
remember?
that?
Do you remember the movie Shooter when
Yeah.
he found out that he was the cover?
Maybe I
for
was
them?
thinking of that as like a factual event
It
that like
probably-
tribes are taking
it
out. It was Mark
probably-
Wahlberg.
It probably does happen though.
Yeah, but that's actually what I was moving towards. Is like tribes have been knocked out for oil pipelines, and then you bring up Shooter.
really
That's
probably does.
exactly what I was thinking about.
That probably is. It probably does happen though. Like I don't.
Oh, they
I
didn't
don't-
pull it out of
No.
their asses. Like,
Yeah, movie producers don't make things up. Movie scriptwriters don't.
They're
ever.
very creative.
But anyway, no, knowing what I know about Mormons and how they get placed in missions. Like they don't choose where they go, they just apply for the missions and then they get sent to wherever they get sent. And sometimes you get sent to places that are like Tijuana.
Sometimes God tells
that-
you to go to Iraq.
Yeah, well, honestly, yeah. I mean, the church probably tries to gauge a little bit places that are safe because, well, like I know people that went to Thailand. There was a big case, so I know somebody who went to Thailand, and
Well, Thailand is pretty safe if you don't have sex with the hookers.
while he was there were other missionaries in Thailand who got arrested because there was a giant statue of Buddha. And they were like climbing on it to take pictures and stuff, and they got arrested because they're very serious about it's like if you like abuse a cow in India, like that's a religious object, a totem for them, like that's something that's sacred to them, and so you can't do that, and they don't necessarily
that's fair.
teach people. They teach all about the language, they teach all about your religion that you're going to proselytize when you go there, but they don't necessarily, I don't know. Like, I don't think, though, that
I think
they...
it's pronounced preface.
Shut up. Shut up. I don't think that they specifically teach, here are the ins and outs of... Correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong, but I don't think they're like, and here's what you're going to happen when you go there. Don't climb on the Buddha statue because these people take this really seriously and whatever. They're just like, go teach them this, and here's their language. I could be wrong.
Mormons can climb.
Well, a girl that I worked with in Utah, though, her brother was a missionary in Canada. Sorry, this is a long one. I'm really sorry about this
Yeah.
pause. I
See
know,
the timing?
I'm a whole dick. Anyway, her brother was a missionary in
She's
Canada.
a whole cucumber.
He got stabbed. I don't remember what happened, but I remember he got stabbed. He was a basketball player for the BYU basketball team, went on his mission, got stabbed, and he was one of those people that was like in the emergency room for like 20 hours with a stab wound before they saw him. Yeah.
But it was free.
That's a whole nother discussion. But anyway, yeah, like they were legit worried that he was not gonna be okay for a while. Like she got the call and like left work, and the next day we're like, "Is everything okay?" She goes, "I don't know yet." Like,
he might be alive.
Yeah.
That's the best we got for you.
but anyway, like that kind of stuff happens when you're a missionary. You get put in a whole different place.
Mormons and lithium.
Yeah, that was way off topic. I'm so sorry.
Talking about people getting stabbed.
Yeah, people can look up the
Yeah.
numbers, but it's
They probably got
the
stabbed too,
largest mineable deposit of lithium on the planet.
Whoa.
And there was some sort of deal in the past where a Canadian mining agency was going to have rights to it, and the mining agency was bought by by a Chinese company. So, again, after that massacre, a lot of things happened. A lot of the negotiations happened. That
We'll have to
that
look into
deal
this.
was one of the things
But
that got killed.
I assume it
after
happened
that
in Mexico because
situation.
Oh,
they said
no.
the Sinaloa cartel.
Yeah.
Right, so it's an interesting area. There's a lot
Yeah.
of things happening there.
That's got to put a tremendous amount of pressure on the cartels in some way, right?
Well, historically, any sort of mining operation usually has industry around it, which is perfect for the cartels. Extortion, protection rackets, feeding the drug use in the area from the workers.
I blue pill the fuck up.
Eddie Bravo is the biggest conspiracy theorist that Joe Rogan ever had. He's the one that gave correct me, I may be wrong, but I think Joe Rogan's earned 2 black belts, I think, through Eddie Bravo. Eddie Bravo's like,
Is he related to Johnny Bravo?
yes, he's got laid more times than Johnny Bravo has. but he owned,
right.
I think it's 10th Planet Fitness.
Give me some sugar. No, that
But-
was Bruce Campbell. Never mind.
But he has I think it's called Spaghetti Guard.
I've got spaghetti arms.
Spaghetti Guard. It's where you bring your legs really. It takes a lot of flexibility, but that's
it's
where
like a
Joe
move?
Rogan trains. It's where, huh?
It's a move.
It's a guard. It's a guard to where you guard somebody's.
So it's like a move you do to guard.
It's
against...
a move you do to guard, I guess.
Can you speak in people's? I don't.
He
know
brings
the
his.
lingo.
Whenever somebody's on top of him, it's jiu-jitsu. Whenever somebody's on top of him, he brings his legs so far up to where like he holds the front of his heel against the back of the back of his heel against the front of your neck, but he's holding it with the front of his hand, and he can flip it around and grab your head to where he's choking you. His foot is here at the end of your throat, and it seems weird to you guys because it's complete opposite of
Show
what I'm
us.
telling her.
Show us.
I'll choke you out right now. I'm not as flexible as either one of them, but he can pull your head down and be pushing his foot forward and choking you.
So, like I said, it's a counter move. It's a move that you do.
It's
to
a guard. It's a very difficult guard to mess with, to deal with. Like it's unorthodox, but it's very, very good. This dude's.
Just go back in the frame. It's like it's a defensive.
He's dangerous. It's defensive and offensive at the same time. He's very dangerous, but he's probably flat earther, and I know he doesn't believe in the moon landing, but he's probably every conspiracy theory that comes in front of Eddie Bravo, he agrees with it. But the dude is so cool and such a badass. You have to agree with him.
I don't try to get my son into conspiracy theories at all. That's going to be later. I'm like, I just want him to...
Later.
That's later. I'll get him when he's like 15. But right now,
He's
can't
such a
handle it.
badass,
There's
though.
no way. There's no way. He doesn't need
shouldn't
that.
ask him to.
And his whole life, every minute is happiness. Just love and happiness, and we just want to make him
Beautiful.
every day.
Gross.
He loves school more.
I bet they would be the two coolest guys to hang out with. Joe and Eddie. I bet they would be going out to a bar. They'd be the. I'm sorry, I'm pausing, but I bet they would be the two coolest people to just hang out with and just hear their conversations because they're so smart.
Hey, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Eddie Bravo.
That was your cue to invite us.
You
Diane.
are-
Than
Wanna
anything.
hang out.
He loves school more than he loves school. And then after school, it's all about fun. And he decides what we're going to do. He calls the shots. You're going to go to karate? He goes, today we're going to do karate, and then we're going to, because he's all into baseball too, and then we're going to go to the batting cages. I'm like, boom, that's it. We go to karate, batting cages, then I go teach jiu-jitsu. Then the next day he'll say, Daddy, I think I'm going to take a relaxation day. Worked a lot the last couple days. Well, let's order a pizza from Dino's in Burbank, amazing, and then we'll watch some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He's all about Teenage Mutant. He decides, and then every day it's a different thing what he wants to. Let's go to the movies today after school.
Well, this is an evolution of you learning from like the pain of your childhood and like doing all the right things.
I do the opposite with
That's
my son.
amazing.
My dad had 19 kids, and I was just one kid with my mom. It was like a weird offside. Like he had a family with 5 kids, and then he got a bunch of other women pregnant. He was all over the place. Truck driver. He had 19 kids. I was one of 19. He had out of 8 different chicks he was banging, and he never. I found out. I met a couple of my half brothers and half sisters that were actually part of his real family. And we met one day. We went to the old.
That's hard. That's terrible.
Because we have to pause to keep from getting flagged for.
We don't have to explain it.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
So the video doesn't get taken down. We have to pause right now. Subscribe to the Joe Rogan Experience. Like, if you want to hear interesting, the dude has the most interesting, like any subject you can think
Well,
of.
you can tell just from this, like he talks about anything and everything. Like he literally doesn't have any boundaries. He'll talk to anybody about anything. And so you might not like this episode, but you will like tomorrow's probably.
Subscribe to the Joe Rogan Experience, and we'll go on.
Spaghetti factory in Hollywood, and they told me all about him, and I didn't know. I thought he had 5 kids. He had a family with 5 kids, and my mom was some chick. He was seeing on the side. That's what I thought. I didn't know he had a bunch of others. He goes, how many? She goes, how many? My half sister goes, how many? I was half sister, half brother. Goes, how many kids do you think your dad has? I said 6. So try 19. I'm like, damn. I go, he's like Helio Gracie. Holy shit.
Real similar.
The Gracie family is probably larger than 19. The Gracies, like, they invented Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
John Wayne Gracie. Yeah.
Yes, John Wayne
Gracie.
Gracie. I think it would be Han. No, because the G's. No, like Hoist.
Oh
They're a big-
yeah, it's hit.
Hoist
no,
Gracie.
hit.
Hoist Gracie comes here to hunt with Max.
Yeah.
Like I've actually met Hoist
Here,
Gracie. Terrifying human being because he's so
Hoist
calm.
Gracie.
And one thing that he never told he never said the words "I love you" to anybody, to his like real family. He never said it to me because I would see him like once a year. That
how
the
my
words
grandpa
never
was.
came out of his mouth. Never told my mom that. Apparently, he's one of those guys that will never say "I love you" to anybody. And I'm the opposite, dude. I tell my son, I look him in the eye every day. It's like, you know who loves you the most. You know, I'm the one. I love you the most. You're the
It's
them every
important.
day.
Extra.
It's
He could do
important.
it.
Yeah, I want I
Let
just go.
people know that you love
And then it's a
them.
funny thing. Because now it's a funny thing. Like first he's like, okay, Dad, okay. And now he goes, I'm not gonna let you forget. He goes, Daddy, I won't forget. I go, you promise? Because I won't forget. I go, I just want to make sure you don't forget. And he goes, okay. And he goes, Daddy, I won't forget. I promise. And I'm like, oh, and I hug him every day.
That's a
Every
good
day.
dad.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
We're at the end of
over.
it. Good. That was a perfect pausing point. That's a good dad. Eddie Bravo may believe in every conspiracy theory that comes across his desk. He seems like he's probably a good dad, a good person. Joe Rogan seems like, I don't know if he has kids. I haven't delved that deep into his personal life, but I know that he is a good guy and a very smart. Yeah, but I know that he is a good guy and a good person, and he has some of the most interesting conversations that a person can have.
Look at him.
Yeah, he's a good boy. Come up here. Hey, Zeus, get up here.
Come here. Oh, he's like,
He's
no.
like, I'll do my own thing.
Hey,
Um,
come here.
come on, buddy. Hey, yeah, you come to daddy. But yes, I love you too, buddy. I love you so much. But if you guys have not subscribed, like if you enjoy podcasts, or even if you don't enjoy podcasts, we don't
Okay.
care. You need to check out the Joe
Show the
Rogan
camera your pretty
Experience.
face. Pretty face. He's like, no.
No.
Anyway.
But subscribe to the Joe Rogan
Yeah,
Experience.
they're so good.
And then, oh, it's so great. And then after you do that, subscribe to our channel because
Look
we
who's out there
enjoy.
now.
Yeah, the bear is like, no, I'm not in this picture. I don't like it. But subscribe to us later.
Okay, bye.
But
Uh,
be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
okay.
Yeah?
No, don't like it. Not a fan. Yeah. I'm a fan.